What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video here today. We are back once again for F1 2020 My Team career mode. Feels weird being back here, doesn't it? It's been an awful long time. God, it's probably been a couple of months actually since the last round. Yeah, not too sure why I actually stopped, to be honest. The motivation to play career mode had really just disappeared, and obviously with league racing starting back up, also a lot of my attention was on the FIA scene with Gran Turismo, and yeah, I really just lost interest and the motivation to do my team. But I did this race probably the better part of 2 months ago, probably even before that. I do actually have a few races recorded in advance. We have obviously this one here today at Hungary, then I think we have Spa, and I think I've actually got Monza recorded as well, so I think I am actually up to Singapore. So yeah, I don't know, I might actually do Singapore in the next few days or something, just to yeah, try and get back into it. Obviously it's been a long time since we've taken our little black and orange rocket ship out for a run. I say rocket ship, not really, but you know, it's getting there slowly. But yeah, so we're here today for the Hungarian Grand Prix, a track which, as you can see, didn't really suit the car. Yeah, not really sure what to say about that. Car was very unbalanced, very difficult to drive in pre-practice. But we end up P6 at the end of FP1, the only one to take the soft compounded tyres for a run. So yeah, obviously that's not where we truly stand in terms of pace. Our race pace is always better than our qualifying pace, so that's one thing to keep an eye on. But yeah, practice, we got through it eventually, and yeah, back in the transporter now. Quick glance at the rivalry. We're down 3 points on Pierre Gasly, so we need to try and gain those points back as quickly as we can. Obviously, you don't want to be losing out in any rivalry, basically, as it will not do you any favours. But anyway, just looking here at our current engine situation, we're definitely going to have to take a 4th power unit before the end of the season, but I'm not too sure if we're going to have to take a 5th or not. I'm putting in old engine components for qualifying, as you can see, as I can't actually remember why I did that, but yeah, there you go. So older engine in the back of the car. Obviously Hungary, not a massive power dependent track, so hopefully our decent chassis and aero can save us a little bit. But let's get into qualifying and well, let's see what we can do, shall we? Alright, so here we are, qualifying here at Hungary. We went out straight away at the start of the session on a set of soft tyres, just trying to get a reasonable banker on the board. Perez goes fastest with a 13.9. Jesus, the AI are pretty speedy around here, so it seems. But we crossed the line for our first run, and it's a 14.9, a whole second off the Mexican in the racing point. Jesus, that's a little bit of a worry. Obviously, with the older components in the back of the car, we do suffer a little bit in terms of not having as much power. But anyway, here we go for our final run of qualifying. Hopefully this lap might be enough to get us through. But yeah, I'll shut up, let you guys enjoy it, and this is our fastest lap of Q1. And around the final corner we come. It's going to be an improvement by about 0.3, and it is not enough to get us out of qualifying 1. We remain in P16. The AI down into a 1 minute 12. Oh my god. We're 2 seconds off the pace of Valtteri Bottas. Well, 1.8 if you want to be specific, but I don't think it matters. We end up P19. We still out-qualify Mick Schumacher and both the Williams, so we're not dead last. So that's something, I guess, but once again, we lose more points to Pierre Gasly in the rivalry. This really isn't helping us. 4 points in the Frenchman's favour now. We really need to get everything together here to start scoring some points over Gasly and hopefully win the rivalry. But anyway, back on the transporter now after a fairly dismal qualifying session. Well, I say that, I mean, technically we are still like the second or third worst car on the grid, so we're qualifying basically right where our car is on paper. But yeah, obviously you guys know as well as I do, particularly in the race, is where the car really can come alive. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a brand new engine, as we're starting P18, so we may as well just drop back 3 spots or whatever and take a brand new engine. So with that in the back of the car, hopefully that can help us out. We can make some moves and get up and score some solid points. But without further ado, it's time to get in to the Hungarian Grand Prix. Let's get rolling.
It's race day in Budapest as we get ready for another round of the Formula One World Championship. We don't expect too many retirements at this track. There are plenty of current and former drivers with flawless finish rates here. In particular, Ralf Schumacher. He made it across the line in all 10 of his Hungarian Grand Prix starts. We're northeast of Budapest for the race today at the 2.7-mile Hungaroring circuit. 14 corners here, 8 to the right and 6 to the left, on a track where downforce is king and passing is notoriously difficult. Now, Anthony Davidson, I wonder, might we be in for some early pit stops today from the midfield teams, all trying to put some pressure on or disrupting things for the leaders up front?
If you're in the middle of the pack, you know, you got your own race to run, I don't think they're going to be thinking about causing trouble up front. However, closer to the head of the pack, don't be surprised to see some split strategies. If you're running second and third, for example, bringing one car in for an undercut while leaving the other one out there longer can put a lot of pressure on the leader and maybe force them into an error.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Vettel, Alexander Albon, and Verstappen, Perez, Ricciardo, Stroll, and Daniel Kvyat. Norris, Gasly, Esteban Ocon, and Sainz, Magnussen, Giovinazzi, Kimi Raikkonen, and Roman Grosjean, Schumacher, Russell, Latifi, and Lee. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
Alright, welcome guys to the grid for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Starting at the very back in P22, but with a brand new engine in the back of the car. Hopefully it can propel us forward and maybe we can score some points. Obviously, first lap is going to be crucial here. I think we can make up a bit of ground. We might have to be a bit aggressive. Hope it pays off.
Issues coming off the practice start. Watch the RPM on a full start. We don't want to bog down.
Thank you, Jeff. Yes, we totally needed reminding. But anyway, so off we go for the formation lap. The 2 Williams, Mick Schumacher, Roman Grosjean just ahead of us. I really would like to clear the Williams, the Haas's and Schumacher as quickly as possible, as in race trim we know we are so much faster. In race trim we really do have top 10 pace. I'm not going to say every week, but say 95% of the time, so I like our chances. I think we do have the pace to score some points. Where we will end up exactly, well, that still remains to be seen. Hopefully, I'm aiming for around a P7, P8 finish, but as we go to reform back on the grid, the game has driven us into the wall. Okay, so that happened. But we've been put back on the grid. 5 red lights. And away we go. Those were held for an absolute age. Decent launch against Nicholas Latifi. Up into Rich and overtaking the slipstream of George Russell. Mick Schumacher up there trying to make moves. We're going to go for a massive send down into turn 1. My God, we have overtaken what? Like 10 cars by the first turn. Norris there on our left, as well as who is that? That is Gasly, our rival. So can we get ahead of him? Round the outside, this is going to be sketchy. It'll give us the inside for the right-hander, and we do get ahead of the Frenchman. We are ahead of our rival. That is crucial in terms of the rivalry. We are set to gain points back on him. Early stages, I know, but we're ahead of him. That's the main thing. Now we've just got to try and keep him behind us. But man, that was an awesome start. That move down into turn 1 was unreal. We passed about half the field, guys. That was mental. But anyway, we've passed, what, 9 cars? And now we're going to see if we can keep passing some more. Lando Norris, Danny Kvyat next on the hit list. Not too sure where I'm going to be able to make this move. They seem pretty quick here at the start. Obviously, we've got Gasly right behind us as well. We need to keep an eye on. Sainz there in P15 on the soft compound tyre. Now that's interesting. I'm not sure why an AI starting outside the 10 would intentionally put the softs on. So yeah, that's a bit odd. We have to keep an eye out for that. On to lap 3. That's our first track limits warning. That is not good. So we've already used up 1 with 32 laps to go. So got to be a good boy now for the rest of this race. No more warnings. Can't risk getting a 3-second time penalty, as that could massively hurt us at the end of the race. On to lap 4. We're going to go for a big boy send on Lando Norris into turn 1. Kind of caught the Brit napping a little bit there. I don't know if he just, yeah, wasn't looking in his mirrors, obviously, and just left the door wide open. They were very early on the brakes as well. I'm not sure if he had to check up for Kvyat or Stroll or someone, but yeah, fairly easy position for us there, and we get up to P12. Next up, Danny Kvyat, Lance Stroll, and I think who was that? That is Danny Rick in the Renault, who looks like he's a bit of a cork in the bottle at the moment. So Ricciardo, maybe with damage, I'm not too sure. Certainly seems very slow at this stage, but down the front straight with DRS enabled. Are we close enough to have a send at Kvyat? I think we're going to go for it. Yes, we are. Down the inside of the AlphaTauri, and we get the move done. Nice traction on the exit, and that is up to P11. So we have already carved our way through half the field here after just 4 laps of running. This is a mental start for us, but we're not done yet. Next up is Lance Stroll, but he's trying to make a move on Daniel Ricciardo. Our engine is overheating as well. Stroll goes for the move on Danny Rick. We are going to try and follow suit. We almost run into the back of the Canadian there. He gets through on Ricciardo, and we follow suit with a good exit. Just move over a little bit to make sure Ricciardo doesn't try anything sneaky, and we are now up into the points paying positions after 5 laps. Wow, this is a dream start for us. This is simply unreal. On to lap 7, and a few of the AI have pitted. I think that was one of the Mercedes, a Red Bull, one of the Ferraris as well, I think, have all pitted. So that now moves us up into 6th position. And I think, I could be wrong here, but I think we are actually the first of the medium runners on the road, and we are actually pulling away from Kvyat and Norris behind. The gap's almost out to 2 seconds. Perez and Ocon in the pits ahead of us now, and I think everybody's actually in the pits ahead of us. So as we come around to start lap number 8 with a new PB of a 19.1, and yeah, there we go, we take the lead here at Hungary. So after 7 laps of racing, we've gone from 22nd to 1st. I didn't think I'd be saying that, but obviously the AI being there on the 2-stop, they'll have much fresher tyres, not to mention obviously they'll have much fresher tyres right now, but they will at the end of the race as well. So yeah, we've got to try and make hay while the sun shines on us right now. but we're not really pulling away from Danny Kvyat and the guys behind as much as I would like. Gap only about 2.1, 2.2, as you can see there, and it was about 1.9 4 laps ago, so we're really not edging away as much as I would have liked. On to lap 12, we started to unlock a little bit more pace, and we've gotten the gap out to 3.2 seconds. I think Norris did have a go at Kvyat, so that did slow them up a little bit. But anyway, basically halfway through the race now, lap 16, we're going to come in for our one and only stop. Leclerc and Hamilton, as you can see, effective 1-2, about 5 seconds back on the mediums. So yeah, not too sure what's going to happen when they make their final stops. McLaren coming out there, I'm presuming that'll be for Lando Norris. But into the pits now, hopefully Spiker can give us a pretty speedy turnaround. Off go the mediums, on go the hards. 2.7 second stop. Not the fastest, but not the worst. We re-emerge on track with Mick Schumacher directly ahead of us and Sergio Perez right behind us. He almost got us there, so we timed that absolutely perfectly. And well, that would have been disastrous for us if the Mexican had gotten by, but luckily we maintained track position, and now we can get the head down and try and chase after everybody up the road. First up is our teammate Mick Schumacher, but we don't have to worry about making that move at the end of lap 17. He peels in and releases us to go and chase after who's next. It's Max Verstappen, 2.7 seconds up the road. You can just about see him there with Alex Albon just ahead of him. Albon on the medium tyres, interestingly, while Verstappen is on the hards. So I'm not too sure what Red Bull are playing at there, split strategy with their cars. But on to lap 21, the AI are now in for their final stops of the race. Hamilton comes out of the pits behind us. I think Leclerc is actually behind him, is he? Or has Leclerc carried on? No, I think he's actually carried on. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the rest of this race unfolds. But on to lap 22, Leclerc pitted at the end of last lap, and we find ourselves in the podium positions legitimately here with 12 to go. I don't think it's going to last, unfortunately, as here comes Leclerc down into turn 1, down the inside. We try and fight him, but there's just nothing we can do against that Ferrari. And now Lewis Hamilton is poised and ready to launch an attack to try and take P4 away from us. Perez back there in P6, about 2.5 seconds back. He'll be licking his lips seeing all this fighting going on up here. And luckily for us, as you can see, the end of lap 23, the gap has actually increased to Perez. So you can't say I'm not trying. I am driving the wheels off this thing, trying to keep the AI behind, but we just can't do anything. There goes Hamilton down the outside. We try and fight back with a mammoth dive down into turn 1. That was actually a bit dodgy from me there. I think we actually made contact with the Mercedes as well, but he got the spot off us anyway in the end, so no harm done, I guess. And Lewis will now set off after Charles Leclerc. I think it's Max Verstappen is in P2 and Valtteri Bottas comfortably leading the Hungarian Grand Prix. Yellow flags down there at turn 2 on lap 24. That looks like a Williams, and I think that is Nicholas Latifi, who is out of the race. So let's jump on board and see if we can find out just what has happened to the young Canadian in the Williams. Down to turn 1. No smoke out of the back of the car. Maybe a gearbox problem or something. Slows on the exit of turn 1. And yeah, you can see him there just gingerly coming down to turn 2. Some kind of problem with that Williams, and that forces the Canadian to park up, and his Hungarian Grand Prix comes to a close about 10 laps from the end. Oh, that's a kick in the teeth, especially when you're so close to making it to the end as well. But anyway, Latifi's day done and dusted. But getting back on with our race, not a lot actually happened, to be honest. After Hamilton got by, the top 4 just absolutely disappeared. As you can see on the mini-map, they're 11 seconds up the road. So they just absolutely bolted. There was no way we were going to hold them back. As much as I tried to, we just couldn't do it. We don't have the car underneath us to take the fight to the likes of Mercedes, Ferrari, or even Red Bull really at the moment. But we're getting there, and hopefully we'll be able to soon. But anyway, Valtteri Bottas crosses the line. He wins the Hungarian Grand Prix as we get all out of shape there through the fast right-hander. We kept the gap to Perez behind as well, so we're going to come home P5. But jumping on board with Bottas now, he crosses the line to win the Hungarian Grand Prix. Fantastic drive from the Mercedes driver as we cut back to Max Verstappen, who will just about hang on to P2. Leclerc and Hamilton closed up massively there at the end. I didn't actually realise it was that close. But the Dutchman comes across to finish P2. Charles Leclerc P3, Hamilton P4. Will not be happy with that, no doubt. But we cut back to us from 22nd on the grid. We have come through and it's P5 here. I'll take that. Good stuff.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
It's a performance to be proud of today from our Hungarian Grand Prix winners. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today and the results speak for themselves.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
Okay, so there we go guys, the Hungarian Grand Prix done and dusted. Driver of the day, not a big surprise, coming up 17 positions from last on the grid to finish P5. 10 more points in the bag for the team. I think that actually might boost us back up to P8 in the Constructors as well. I'll have a look at that in a moment, but there are your results. Valtteri Bottas wins the Hungarian Grand Prix from Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton. Then we have ourselves in P5, Sergio Perez, Kvyat, Norris, Vettel and Alex Albon rounding out the top 10. Pierre Gasly down in 11th, so we have beaten our rival quite convincingly. So that should hopefully do us a world of good in terms of the rivalry. Two big surprises there, Carlos Sainz and Daniel Ricciardo. Not sure what went on with those two, but that is a dismal performance from both of them. That is not what you'd expect, especially from a McLaren and a Renault. But looking at the updated standings, we remain in P9, and for the Constructors we do actually overtake Alfa Romeo, so we're back up into 8th, and I think 8th is the lowest position where I'd really like to finish. Looking at those standings, I think we could maybe finish 6th or 7th, but we really do need a little bit of help from old mate on the right over there. So I don't know. We probably need to work on Mick Schumacher a little bit. To be fair, we haven't exactly put as much effort into working on him as we probably could have. So I don't know. We might start doing that over the next few rounds. But all in all, absolute cracker of a race from us. 22nd to 5th. That is just absolutely unreal. $3 million in the bank now. Happy days.
Our margins are looking good right now. I think we've got room for some more investment.
Alright, too easy. Back in the headquarters then of Spiker F1, and let's have a little look-see at what we can do. We have a fabrication upgrade on the way for the durability. Hopefully that does not fail. We've also got that's not a weight reduction upgrade, is it? No, that's tyre wear upgrade on the way. We do have a few resource points, so I might look at purchasing something. Let's see what's recommended, shall we?
I recommend we could go for something like this.
Alright, so the recommendation is for a drag reduction upgrade. I'm not too sure if I actually want to go through with that or not. We do have a tyre wear upgrade on the way, but I'm also thinking along the lines of engine performance as well, as I feel like our power is letting us down sometimes. in saying that, all areas of the car are really letting us down a little bit, but I don't know, engine and aerodynamics are actually pretty similar. We're like third, fourth worst car, but yeah, I think what I'm actually going to do is go for the engine upgrade, and that should be on the car, if not for the Italian Grand Prix for Singapore, hopefully for Monza, but who knows, we'll wait and see. Plug the old engine components back in as well for Spa, I think it is next, so all good by the looks of it, so let's see if the upgrade goes on.
I know we were expecting some new developments to come through, but some of them have failed the quality control. Make sure you indicate what you'd like redeveloped via the R&D screen.
We should have known that was coming. The upgrade has failed. The fabrication upgrade for the durability has gone on, so that's something at least. But yeah, unfortunately our little tyre wear upgrade has failed us, so we will recommend or repair that, when we can. Looking at the activity timeline, we'll put in a little activity there to pass the time, and it looks like we have a press interview. This will be with Will Buxton, won't it? Yes, it is. So let's go and have a chat and see what Will Buxton has to say about our progress so far this season.
Thanks so much for the invitation to your HQ. Let's have a little chat about the team's performance this season.
At the moment, you seem to be a solid mid-tier team. What do you think will take your team to the next level?
I don't really think we can actually put it down to one particular thing. I mean, you know, we've just got to keep pushing forward. Yeah, and who knows, we'll be a front-running team soon. Well, that's the plan anyway.
Your second driver really seems to be improving at a rapid pace. How dedicated are they?
Schumacher's going along okay. Obviously not scoring points is a bit of a downer, so we really need to work with him to get him up to speed a bit more, but no, he's doing okay.
You've been struggling to get points this season. What are the key areas of improvement you need to make to the team?
Just completely contradicts the question he asked about 20 seconds ago. Again, I'll give a similar answer. I mean, we just need to keep pushing forward, really.
Would it be safe to say that in terms of team orders, your career comes first in your team?
Ooh, now he's throwing the big questions at us. I don't really think team orders are a thing, to be fair. We're just a step above Mick at the moment.
Do you see your relationship with your second driver being long-term, or will you be looking for someone else if you're successful?
That really all comes down to Mick Schumacher himself. If he puts in good performances, then we'll keep him on, but if he disappoints, then we might have to search elsewhere.
It's been wonderful to spend some time with you. Best of luck out on track.
Alrighty, so that interview is done, and it is now time for the season break. So the first half of Season 1 is officially done and dusted. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Been a lot of fun actually back making this. So we'll keep on at it, but yeah, if you enjoyed, remember to leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. You guys know what to do if you enjoyed it. And yeah, until the next video, I'll catch you all later. Have a good one.